The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission's final report on the February freeze is now out, and it says Texas needs to make some major changes to its power grid.
The analysis has more than 24 recommendations to prevent a future crisis, some of which state lawmakers have already passed during the regular session in this past springtime.
As KXAN's Maggie Glenn reports, one of the biggest recommendations relating to the gas industry has yet to be enforced by the state, leaving our grid vulnerable.
This is something like when there's a plane crash and the National Transportation Safety Board interviews everybody and puts together a big report and says, this is why the plane crashed.
It starts with a clearer timeline of what went wrong in February.
Natural gas failed first, which helped make power failures even worse because there were fuel supply cutoffs. And then some power plants also failed.
It's a nonpartisan, independent analysis of the crisis.
That sequence is important because we've been told by the natural gas industry that the reason why natural gas production dropped was because of power outages, but in fact, it's the other way around.
The report says if power generators were properly weatherized, 67% of outages could have been prevented. Winterization recommendations were already made after the winter storm in 2011.
The good news is that the 2021 legislature took some action. The 2011 legislature did not. The bad news is it really falls short of what we need.
Lawmakers are now requiring power generators to weatherize, but so far there's no state mandates for gas producers which fuel those power plants. The feds don't have any power to enforce that either.
That's where our jurisdiction is limited.
The report presses state agencies and lawmakers to figure out how to enforce these recommendations for gas producers before winter of 2023.
This is a real sort of weak link in the chain.
Maggie Glenn, KXAN News.
Other recommendations include compensation for generators and producers who weatherize, and also exploring how the state could connect to the other two major power grids in the country. Should the state decide to tap into our neighbors' grids, that's a process that could take more than 20 years to build.